This video is everything you need to know about special event coverage. This comes up all the time with my nonprofit clients, so I'm going to talk you through why it exists, how much do you need to buy, how much does it cost, and whether you need liquor liability or host liquor liability so you can get a sense of what you should be looking for. Let's get into it. First off, let's explain what is a special event and why does it exist. It starts with understanding general liability insurance and how an insurance company underwrites general liability insurance. There are a couple parts. One is premises liability coverage, which is a defined space. And so when companies are looking at how risky is it that somebody's going to slip and fall or get hurt where you do business, they're looking at square footage and they're looking at where you are and what you do. The other part of general liability insurance is product and completed operations liability. So, what is the work that you're doing and what are you selling? So, you need special event coverage when you're having an event or something that you do infrequently that does not look at all like what you do 99% of the time. So, if you have an office building and people walk in and out of your office, and then you say, oh, hey, we're going to have a golf tournament fundraiser. Well, the golf tournament fundraiser looks nothing at all like your office, which means does not fit in this box. So we need special event coverage. Okay, so you've got this special event. Maybe it's a golf tournament. Maybe you're going to do a 5K. Maybe you're going to do a mud run. Now you're asking, how much insurance do I need to buy? There's a couple of factors here. First is going to be, are there any contracts that you need to comply with? I've had some organizations reach out to me and they wanted to rent RFK Stadium when it was still standing. And RFK Stadium, that was where the Redskins played when they were still the Redskins. And that stadium said, hey, you need to buy $1 million of general liability insurance plus a $5 million umbrella. And this guy was saying, I'm just trying to do a drive-in movie theater. I don't want to pay that much for insurance just to do this type of event. But he was not going to be allowed to use that space unless he complied with the contract. Now, some other factors that you're going to want to consider when you're buying insurance for your event is what's the size of it? What's going to be happening? How risky is it? If you're doing a golf tournament, I mean, not a whole lot's going to happen there. But if you're going to have a concert that's going to bring in 20,000 people and you're going to have a nationally named band performing there, that's a totally different thing, right? So you got to look at what you're doing, how risky is it, how much revenue you generating from it, and then you can start to back in how much do you need to buy. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you start looking at special event coverage is a lot of times you're just going to buy liability insurance that you would not normally buy that would not normally fit in your general liability insurance program. If this is a big money making event for you that could get rained out, part of what you might want to think about here is event cancellation coverage, which is it's its own can of worms. It is going to be priced based off of your revenue, and you're going to have to determine how much rain before the event gets canceled. It's also something that may be required by some contracts if you go out and get a big name band to perform at one of your events. So just keep that in mind as you're going through this process. Now, how much does special event coverage cost? It depends on what you're doing. Just going to get a wedding policy, it's you and your loved one and you're trying to rent a church, that's a couple $100. If you are a nonprofit and you're having a golf tournament, that may be automatically covered under your liability policy. If you're having a concert with 20,000 people and you need event cancellation coverage, that's going to cost a little bit more, right? It's hard to even put a number around that. So, the things to keep in mind when you're figuring out how much it's going to cost is going to be how much money do you generate? How many people will be there? And what are you doing? And how risky is it? If you're going to have climbing walls, if you're going to have hot air balloons, if you're going to have mechanical bulls, these are all things that are going to drive up the costs of your event. So just think about that when you're deciding what you're going to do and make sure that it makes sense from a business perspective to do the event. Now, as you're sorting it out, one of the most common things that people are thinking about is alcohol. Are you going to sell it? Are you going to bring somebody else in to sell it? And what are the insurance implications? You need to know that if you are going to sell the alcohol and get the liquor license, you will need to get liquor liability. If you're going to hire somebody else, like a caterer, you're going to go to a venue and they're going to sell it, host liquor will probably be good enough. But either way, you need to make sure that you understand what's going to be your role in selling the alcohol, who's getting the license, so that you make sure the liability insurance you buy matches what you need. And now, lastly, once you've thought through the event and what you're going to do and how much insurance you need and whether or not you need liquor liability, you're trying to figure out where to get it and how to get it. Now, this part of this goes back to the general liability insurance policy that you bought. Because if you're a nonprofit and you're with a nonprofit specialty market, there's a lot of events that are automatically covered. Your company may not have a special event rider to give you automatic coverage. And if that's the case, you're probably going to have to go out and get a standalone policy. And there's a lot of good places to get it. Philadelphia Insurance has a good option. Cincinnati Insurance. You can go to wholesalers like Amwins or special markets. There's a lot of different places to get special event coverage depending on what your event is. All right. I appreciate you watching that. If you want to talk to me about your special event or your organization, contact information is in the description. Happy to talk you through what your situation. If this video was helpful, please hit like and subscribe. It helps other people like you find the content. And if you got questions, you can drop them in the comment section. I answer everything. As always, thank you so much for watching, and please go build something.